Hello everybody, and welcome to another Throne of Eldraine draft here on the channel. Today we're going to be playing some MTGO so we can see what real people are doing in the drafts. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me out a ton, and I truly appreciate everyone that does that. If you have any questions at all, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I love answering your questions and interacting with you guys. And if, as always, be sure to subscribe to the channel to join our community here on YouTube and join our community. Click that bell so you don't miss any future videos. If you would like to support the channel further, you can do so via the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. And today I'd like to welcome Gregwin T to the Patreon community. Thank you so much for your support. Let's dive into the pack. This one is not particularly tricky. Lovestruck Beast is just a fantastic rare. It kind of just takes over the game on its own. Unfortunately, this pack is just kind of stacked when it comes to green cards. Like, Fierce Woodstalker is the second best green coming. Outmuscle the best one. Rosethorn Acolyte's great. Beanstalk Giant's excellent. So I think Lovestruck Beast is great, but I think some green cards are going to get taken out of this pack. So it's going to be interesting to see where this draft leads us. Okie doke. Second pick here, there's a Castle Ardenvale, which is quite potent. Just the fact that you can have a land that in the late game starts making humans is quite nice, and it's going to come in untapped almost every time. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. I do think Rampart Smasher is a nice one because if I played a mono green deck with Lovestruck Beast, it's going to be fantastic, and also just if I played a red green deck, it can be fantastic as well. The only card that is strictly green is Rosethorn Acolyte, so that's a nice, powerful card. Helps me ramp up my mana, but it doesn't necessarily go as aggressive as Lovestruck Beast. Other cards that are noteworthy: Scorching Dragonfire I have as the best red common. Scalding Cauldron's just a nice flexible option. It can leave me open to going really any direction. I think Rampart Smasher kind of is the best option here, just because I could still be red-green, and I think Scalding Cauldron is probably the second pick out of this pack, just because it's very flexible. There is a common missing out of this pack, which makes me think they maybe took Bacon to a Pie or something like that. I think I'm just going to take the Rampart Smasher. I do want to get more experience with it. But I think Scalding Cauldron is a very defensible pick just because it's very flexible, and it's going to be pretty solid in any deck. But I think having two very powerful green cards early could potentially lead me down a strong path. Pack 3, this is interesting because the rare is missing and a common is missing. And the thing is most commons you are not going to be taking over Bacon to a Pie. It's just a very strong common. But in this particular case, the Scorching Dragonfire works really well with the game plan I've already assembled here. Rampart Smasher is an absurd card if you play this on turn 4. You just win the game a lot of the time unless they have a Bacon to a Pie. It dodges Scorching Dragonfire, it dodges Reeve Soul, it just dodges a ton of the removal spells. The problem is there's also there's a really good black card in the pack, and I don't want to just abandon the option of potentially playing a black-green deck. Let's see. I just want to see who I'm being passed to. I don't know any of these people. Not that it's going to affect my pick in any way. I just wanted to see, because I know a bunch of people that play almost exclusively on Magic Online. I think Bacon to a Pie is a defensible pick here, but I think I'm just going to take the Scorching Dragonfire. I think it leads me down a pretty nice path. The person that's passing to me, I don't know what colors they are, but Scorching Dragonfire is still in the pack, and Bacon to a Pie is still in the pack. They're probably not in red, and I think this could just lead to the most powerful deck. And now we see pick 4. There is a Rosethorn Acolyte still in the pack. There are Claim the Firstborn, which is a card I'm not a huge fan of. It's generally just a little bit underpowered. The thing about this type of effect is you want it to be like the last spell you cast in a game, and you don't really want to be taking small creatures at that point. Flaxen Intruder is only a card that I think is good if you have a couple copies of Lucky Clover, because making 6 2/2s is really terrifying. Other than that, I think Rosethorn Acolyte's just a clear pick out of this pack. It can help me get my Rampart Smasher out, even if I'm not strictly a red-green deck. Maybe I end up in a black-green deck, but I'm liking this. Keeps me heavy green. There's nothing really else that's calling to me. Rosethorn Halbert's not absurd or anything. So now there's a Golden Egg, which can help with fixing. There's also just a Searing Barrage. There's a Weaselback Red Cap, which is a card that I think is a sleeper card right now. It's just, you need to be able to punch through, and this card just punches through anything. In the late game, you don't really care. A lot of the cards just get blanked by an 0-4. You just can't attack anymore. And Weaselback Red Cap also has the added upside of triggering my Lovestruck Beast, which is a fantastic upside to have on my card. That being said, I don't think I need to take it super early because I don't think anyone else has really come around on the card yet, and I think I can probably get some later. I definitely think I take it over Merchant of the Veil, though, because my deck doesn't really need just a 3-mana 2/3. The Golden Egg's interesting. I really think this card is good, but I think I might just want a Searing Barrage here. Though Searing Barrage is very replaceable. Golden Egg Yeah, I think I am probably committed to red-green at this point. I have a very strong base for that, so I think I'm just going to take the Searing Barrage. And now, what do I want here? There is a Hengewalker's not very good. Thrill of Possibility is a nice card, as it can help me find my bombs a little more frequently. It can help me find my Beast, my Rampart Smasher. Also Bloodhaze Wolverine, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think we'll just take Thrill, and then probably not main deck it. We'll just see what happens. I do like Merrileaf Rider quite a bit. It's just a high-powered 2-drop that can also like use random foods you get pretty effectively. I think 7 Dwarves is just significantly worse. Like, you generally aren't going to get that many copies. Even if you get like 2 or 3, they think they're just a little bit worse than Merrileaf Rider overall. And this is about where I'd expect to pick up the Rosethorn Halberd. It's not like an exceptional card. This is a pretty late Runaway Together. Tempting Witch has also been pretty solid. I think Raging Redcap is okay as well. It's actually kind of an interesting consideration, Raging Redcap versus Halberd, because they are kind of a nice combo together. Maybe I just want the Raging Redcap. It can work really nicely if I get a Halberd later, which I probably will. So maybe I just prefer to take the creature here. We'll put it in the sideboard for now, though. Wow, this is an absurdly late Rimrock Knight. Rimrock Knight is fantastic. As I said before, you really want ways to punch through with your creatures, and Rimrock Knight really lets you do that. Also, I would probably play Gingerbrute in this deck, because you do want to have just some 1-mana 1/1s that just trigger your Lovestruck Beast. I'd prefer to have the Redcap, but Rimrock Knight's going to be really good, helping me punch through. It can just give my creature +2/+0 with its Boulder Rush, and just a 3/1 is pretty solid. This is a very late Witching Will as well, but we're not really in that direction. And now Bargain's pretty nice, also helps me punch through. Red is looking quite open. I'm definitely taking another Bargain here. Keep in mind you can only use this on attacking creatures, but all my creatures are non-humans right now. Rosethorn Halberd did come back. I expected that with my Raging Redcap pickup, so... And now what Redcap also came back. People are sleeping on this card, and it's going to pay us off big time. Okay, I think we found open colors, partly because we evaluate the cards better. But like, what Redcap works so well, not only with Bargain, because that's kind of a sweet combo, because you can just pump it up a ton and then hit them for like 7. But it also works really well with the Lovestruck Beast, because you can attack with it, and then you can start triggering it. And then you pump it after you've attacked. And Halberd plus Raging Redcap might be good enough to just make the deck, especially because Raging Redcap is also an excellent combo with Bargain and also an excellent combo with Rimrock Knight. So I'm liking where we're at right now. In this pack, Lock Dragon is the type of card that if I was heavier red, I would consider playing. But given the fact that I have Lovestruck Beast, which I want to have early green for, this mana base is looking like it's probably going to be pretty reasonably split, like maybe even 9-8. And even though Rosethorn Acolyte can kind of help with this type of card, I think it's safer to just avoid it in this spot. Ironcrag Pyromancer is not really where I'm looking to be either, even though I do have the Thrill of Possibility to go with it. I don't really have any other synergies. I really like Two Unveiled Treefolk, though. I think this card might just be the pick, even though this pack is relatively weak. Two Unveiled Treefolk, and then maybe Wheel the Fling and play that potentially. Two Unveiled, just like another card that helps you punch through, works well with the red cap. Just a big creature in general, so I think we'll just take that. I've been pretty impressed with it. Wow, sad that we can't play this Emery. Emery is a fantastic card. You just build around it very minimally. You just can get this plus a Scalding Cauldron and do good work. You can get this plus the Golden Egg and do good work. Just a lot of valuable things you can be doing. I do like Garenbrig Carver. I think a lot of the time just giving a creature +2/+2 is going to be good. And this deck is definitely looking for combat trick effects like that. You kind of have to treat this as a combat trick that's going to have a body attached to it later, rather than just a card that's going to be great every time. But I think it's going to be a fine pickup here. I think Insatiable Appetite's a little bit less flexible, so we'll just take the Carver. And now a Fierce Witchstalker, excellent pickup, just 4 mana, 4/4. Comes with those minor food upsides that goes with my Merrileaf Rider. Definitely the pick over Searing Barrage and over Ferocity. I don't think Ferocity's particularly good, given that it only affects attackers and things like that. But Witchstalker is going to be a nice little 4-drop here for my deck. And now, so I don't think anyone else wants the red caps, so maybe I can wheel that, even though it does have excellent synergy with my deck. It works with 2 Unveiled Treefolk, which is kind of a 4-drop for us. Works with the Treefolk. It works with the Rosethorn Halberd. Works with the Bargains. But I think we can wheel this and just take a Searing Barrage here, get that extra removal spell. We don't have enough Knights to make Trainer very good. And, this is interesting. Heraldic Banner can pump up some of our cards, but they're kind of split pretty evenly. So I might just take another red cap here. Kenrith's Transformation is a card that I haven't really been a fan of because, like, sure, you can go turn 1 red cap into turn 2 Kenriths, or you can turn your opponent's big creature into a 3/3. But 3/3 is still like a relevant creature line, and even though it cantrips, I haven't been super impressed. I don't think I really want any more 3-drops at this point, though. Banner is also interesting because you can sometimes just pump up some creatures. I think it's between Kenrith's and Raging Redcap. I think I'll give Kenrith another chance. I have had very small sample size with it, so I think I need to give it a second shot. Castle Embereth is fantastic. Just giving all your creatures +1/+0. This encourages me to play a heavier red mana base, which is probably fine, even though I have some decently cost-heavy green cards. Trebuchet is also nice for just tapping, but I don't really have knights. I have 1. I guess I have 2, 3. Never mind, I have 4 knights. So, Brimstone could be good, but I think Embereth has just got to be the pick here. And then I commit to be a little bit heavier red, which means I'll turn my Searing Barrages on, which is my only adamant card. So, this is a nice little pickup here. Curious Pair is okay. Gingerbrute would be a fine playable in this deck just because I have Lovestruck Beast. And the Trebuchet would be fine as well, but I like getting a castle here because it just takes a land slot instead of a spell slot. Holy hell, what the heck? Foulmire Knight and Reeve Soul still in the pack. Jeez, black was open. I think we just take a Tree Folk here, and I'm pretty happy with that. Helps us push through damage, as we said before. And now, what the heck? Redcap Melee is a fantastic removal spell, just very efficient against the red decks. I am debating whether or not I want that or just another Rimrock Knight, because if you look at my curve is pretty clunky. I don't really have excellent 2-drops right now, and Redcap Melee, I kind of already have a couple Searing Barrages. But I think Redcap Melee is enough more powerful that it's worth taking still. And now I think I take the Return to Nature. I might even main deck that. That card effect has seemed pretty good to me. I don't really need the Insatiable Appetite. I already have Carver and Rimrock Knight and 2 Bargains. So I think we'll just take a Blow Your House down for the sideboard. And now another Rosethorn Halberd could be good. Redcap did come back, which kind of makes me want to play them. 3rd Redcap, nice. I think Redcap's actually going to be actively good in our deck, which is kind of a funny situation to be in, but with 2 Halberds and 2 Tree Folks, it's kind of a scary threat. And the Rimrock Knights, and the Rimrock Knight and Bargain. Sorry. We might end up having to play this Thrill of Possibility. It's looking like we're a very heavy red deck now, which is kind of nice. Okie doke. So this seems like a very easy second Rampart Smasher. This is just a really good payoff for being in our colors. Enchanted Carriage is a nice pick earlier in the draft when you really value staying flexible. But we've kind of committed, so I think easy Rampart Smasher here. And depending on how our deck shapes up, we might just cut a decent number of our green cards. Like, obviously not going to cut the Lovestruck Beast, but Fierce Witchstalker could get the axe. Kenriths could get the axe, because we do have a lot of playables here, and we want to make sure that we can consistently get Adamant for this, because that's very relevant, and things like that. Well, now we're left with a rough pick, because this pack is garbage. I guess we can take an Ogre Errant. It does give Menace to my Redcap, which can be relevant, because then they don't necessarily want to just throw their cheaper guy in front of their Redcap, because it can just eat it. But I think it's better than taking a Crashing Drawbridge, even though Drawbridge is decent with Rampart Smasher, because you can just get in there really quickly. But I think this card's going to be better, and we can maybe just relegate the Fierce Witchstalker to the board. And now this is really where we want to start picking up 2-drops, and we get a great one. Rimrock Knight is exactly what we want. Very happy to see this. Definitely want it. There are great white cards in this pack, though. Scalding Cauldron definitely goes down in priority for me at this point in the draft, because I already have my colors kind of set. I think I'm just going to take 7 Dwarves to have another 2-drop. That's proactive. Even though this card is nice, I have a decent number of removal spells. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 removal spells. And I think I really just want to make sure I can play a 2-drop on turn 2. And now another Rimrock Knight. Things are really coming together, even though there have been some pretty great black cards, and maybe black was a good color for me to be in this spot. 3 Rimrock Knights is excellent for me. That's a very highly rated common in my opinion, or at least it's a very strong common. We aren't really looking for thrills. I don't know if we can play the Witch Stalker. Probably gonna make some shaves, but we'll keep it in for now. But our deck definitely wants to be heavy red for our Castle Embereth, because this is a triple red, essentially, because Castle Embereth is also a red mana, so you need to have 2 reds plus Castle Embereth. And then the 2 halberds are kind of a commitment, but they work so well with my red caps that I think they're worth it. And they work pretty well with Rimrock Knight, just letting it get past stuff. Maybe this isn't a Garenbrig Carver deck. We already have 2 Bargains. No, maybe Bargain's just worse. Huh. Late Slaying Fire. Definitely happy to pick this up. Searing Barrage is solid, but we already have 2 of them. It is an expensive card. And Slaying Fire, when we're going to be a heavy red deck, is just a very powerful effect. 3 damage and even 4 damage. It can go any direction. Outmuscle would be better if we were heavy green. And I think I would still take Outmuscle over Searing Barrage in this spot, just because I think it's a better card. But Slaying Fire is the easy pickup here out of that pack. And now another Searing Barrage. Definitely the pick over the Embereth Paladin. You really want to be able to be like 12-5 to play your Embereth Paladin as a 5-2 immediately. And we already have a ton of 4-drops, but getting another Searing Barrage really helps punch through. And Escape to the Wilds on color rare. This card just really keeps you fueled up. Definitely a happy pickup. And it looks like we really got there on our heavy red requirements for our deck. So we can maybe run an 11-6 mana base. Or a 10-7. I think 10-7 is probably the spot to be, which means we can play any 1 color card relatively frequently, but the 2 color cards are a little bit trickier. So we'll probably cut the Fierce Witch Stalker. Ogre Knight is probably okay. Ogre Errant, I mean. Let's look at our curve. I kind of like the Acolyte to help me trigger my Barrage, and also just as a mana ramper and to fix my mana a little bit, though maybe it's not worth it as a second color. Nice getting a Fell the Pheasant for the sideboard. And another Return to Nature, though there is a Crashing Drawbridge. How many 2-drops do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're probably not running the Kenriths. Crashing Drawbridge could just be terrifying. Like, giving all of my stuff haste, really frightening. I think since we already have a Return to Nature, we'll just take the Crashing Drawbridge, give it a shot. Because getting this guy out with haste is really a big game. Wow, late Trapped in a Tower, that's kind of nuts. Another Return to Nature, also late Steelclaw Lance. Prophet, nice. Beanstalk, not a card I like to play. So our deck really has a ton of options, and I think we have a very good deck here. We're probably not going to want to run both 2 Unveils. I think we're going to definitely run a 17 mana base, 10-7 split. And we can just afford to cut down on some of our clunkier cards. Like we can cut this card. This card is going to be in the deck, but we want to make sure. So we want to get ourselves down to as many red cards as we can. I think we cut 1 Barge in. We already have 1, and we already have 3 Rimrock Knights that also pump up creatures. And halberds and stuff, so Bargain becomes less useful. Okay, I would like to get this 7 dwarves out, but I think I'm just going to cut it. I don't think it can help me win the game ever. You don't generally win the game with like 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop in this format. You kind of win by like having a better, like consistent setup. Like you want to be able to punch through an 0-4, and just a 2 mana 2/2 doesn't do that. Though it does work with my knights, and it's a non-human, so maybe I do keep it in for now. I think we definitely play this as just a huge way to fuel back up. We can probably cut the Rosethorn Acolyte. Our curve is kind of low. We definitely want to keep the Lovestruck Beast. Raging Redcap is definitely interesting. Maybe we just cut that for a Rosethorn. It works so well with the Halberd and the Rimrock Knights that I think it's worth playing all 3, just to see how good they are maybe. I don't think we need the Ogre Errant. We don't really have a ton of knights. And we do need 1 more cut. So maybe we cut 1 copy of this. We could cut the Drawbridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of like the Drawbridge, though, fueling my Rampart Smasher. I'm definitely happy we have 1 of these, because we can't attack with this other than having our Weaselback or the 1/1 that this makes. So what are our closest to being playable cards? These cards are all good cards, but they kind of commit us to be heavier. And they kind of want to try this one out, but they kind of commit us to being heavier into our color that we're not really playing as much, which is very relevant for our Searing Barrages, and also just having good mana early in the game. See, typically Bargain is the type of card that I cut, especially when I have Rosethorn Halberds. This is kind of a 4-drop a lot of the time that we just can then kind of play late game, free roll it in a way. Barge in. We have all non-humans. Giving these guys trample can be quite good. Giving this guy trample can be quite good. I think we want to try the Crashing Drawbridge. I think we just cut the Barge in. Though Barge in is super good. Maybe I think we want the 2 Rosethorn, 3 Redcap setup. Because that's like a nice little 1-2 punch. And that gives us something to do late game so that we don't get like blanked by a mill deck or something, because then all of our creatures are scary. Maybe we go with a much more gentle package of this, and we just cut these. We just cut 1 Rosethorn and a Redcap, and we go with a 2 Redcap, 1 Rosethorn split. Though we kind of really want to just assemble that combo, make a 3/3 double strike. I feel like that combo might just be bad. Like, what if we just cut all of these cards and then added like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, it definitely messes up our mana a tiny bit, but then we don't have to play these guys. So we would cut these 5 for these 5, and then we would just like not run Garenbrig Carver or something. But then this guy sucks because he doesn't have Knights to trigger, so we would play like 1 Raging Redcap just for synergy with our Rimrocks and Barges in. Because I think Rosethorn Halberd's overall just an underwhelming card. And maybe we can try this package out, but I think this is just going to be a better configuration. I don't think we want to have double green, though, because we really want to make sure this Embereth can activate. Rimrock Knight's also quite a nice combo with Redcap, because then Rimrock Knight is also just like a fantastic value thing. So maybe we can just play 2 of these over a Tree Folk. Yeah, let's try it like this. I think this is a good configuration. The Tree Folk is definitely a good card, but it's a much more slow card. So I think having only 1 in this deck, at least in the main, is a pretty fine option. It's also in our off color, so it's a little bit harder to cast. The Acolyte's also interesting, but it can attack. It's a 3-mana 2/3, and it can, I don't know, maybe we'd rather just have a 3rd Redcap. Like, is 3 Raging Redcaps plus 3 Rimrock Knights and 2 Barges in good enough is the question. I kind of think it might be. But I don't think Rosethorn's really what our deck wants. It doesn't attack very well. We don't have any huge things to ramp into other than Escape the Wilds. And we want to be attacking with our creatures rather than tapping them for mana. So, what else do we have here? We have this Ogre Errant, but I don't think that's great. We have this guy, but it's just worse than Bargain in our deck. We have a 2 Unveiled Tree Folk that we could play over 1 Raging Redcap. We could play Kenrith's Transformation. For our 10/7 mana base, maybe we can just afford to play another Tree Folk. I think this is a good configuration. It should be good. I really like the Tree Folk. If I'm running 17 lands, I'm going to want a way to spend my mana if I flood out a little bit. And Redcap is a little bit situational, so I don't really want to draw multiples. Because you can't, like, Rimrock Knight multiples of them. So, let's try this configuration. Definitely put in this card. And then add basic lands. We're going to add 9 of these and 7 of those. Sort by converted mana cost. I think that's good. 10-7 split seems good, because we do want to be able to enable this. Maybe we can go down to 6 sources. Because we do have so many red cards we want to be casting. 10-7 seems okay to me. I'm generally a little bit more conservative when it comes to mana bases, because you just want to be able to cast your spells first and foremost. And I think 10-7 is going to work out pretty well. I mean, if we can't cast Merrileaf right on turn 2, it's not the end of the world. Maybe we cut a Tree Folk for a red cap and then go down to 10-6. No, I think this is going to be good. With 2 Tree Folk and 3 Knights and 2 Margins, the red caps seem solid to me. If I cut, the problem is this Merrily Rider. If I cut the Merrily Rider for a red cap, then I can go up to 11 red sources. Huh. But then I only have 5 2-drops. I don't have a single way to make food. So let's do that. And, yep, try it like this. Our deck seems good to me. I'm really excited to try it out. We're going to be trying to get them with our red deck, and I'll hope you stay with me for the first round. Hello, and welcome to round 1. We definitely want to play first. Our deck is definitely an assertive deck, and we kind of have our little combo all set up already. Definitely going to be cool to see how it plays out. We kind of have 8 damage in our hand already, and we have green mana. But I'm glad that we have all those mountains because we want to be able to cast this with Adamant. Definitely leading with our red mana. The Gingerbread. We actually have the counter to Gingerbread right here. Right here in the old hand. Get wrecked. Crashing Drawbridge gets a little bit better because Gingerbread is a card. This is also the situation where I love having 2 Unveil Tree Folk in my deck because that card can use all these extra lands that I have, and having 2 copies of that really helps out. Oh my gosh, the Flutter Fox. Nice. We're going to definitely just kill Flutter Fox now. There are several pump spells that would wreck us. We don't have any double green cards, but we do have the Lovestruck Beast, which we'd like to be able to cast both halves of if we draw. Okay, so they can... I could have still blocked it if they wanted to play Flutter Fox. I don't know why they didn't attack pre-combat. I would have blocked, but it's a free attack pretty much. Though I guess if I attack back with a 3-1, Rampart Smasher is just going to hit so hard. Oh gosh, are they just not doing anything this turn? I'm kind of afraid of Trapped in a Tower, but we're just going to go for it because they can't always have Trapped in a Tower. And hitting them for 5 is still good. Like, hit them for 5 and they have to deal with our stuff is still great. La-da-dee. And they're a red deck, so that's even better. Da-da-da-da. Let's go. Attack for 5. I like it. This is the type of Magic I want to play. And then we can kill whatever they play and deal 3 to them. And we have red cap melee for if they play a red creature. But we don't really want to sacrifice a land when we have Tree Folk in our deck as a 6-drop. Is it a red creature? Oh, it's a Crystal Slipper. Ha ha ha. The Gingerbread going to town. Wow, that's kind of funny. Well, if we draw another Rampart Smasher, this game's over. Hopefully we do that. Raging Redcap. Well, we'll definitely still play that. Because it is a decent amount of damage. An extra 2 damage always helps. Especially when we have 3 damage in hand here, so this plus Searing Barrage is now lethal. Their Scalding Cauldron does have a target, though. I think we just kind of crush other aggressive decks. Okay. Red Cap Melee, sure. Because all you have is bigger creatures. Imagine if one of these mountains was a forest. This game's just so different. Da-da-da-da. This guy can't block here, so they have to block with this guy. And they can sack it to gain 3. Sure. And then on end step, we can deal 4 to them, or we can just Searing Barrage whatever they play. Because we have Slaying Fire, it can deal 4 to their face. Yeah, so see here, this is the difference. If I had a forest instead of a mountain, this is like a very different game. We're just going to use our removal. We already have 2 extra removal spells. And this puts them to dead. This is also a common, so they're more likely to play around it anyway. I don't know what the artwork is of. It's like a dragon? It is a dragon, it looks like. Okay. So they go to 1. Okay, we will just attack. We'll play this. I think it's better than playing the Slaying Fire, because Slaying Fire is an uncommon. Okay, so red-white aggro. They probably have some flyers, so Fell this Peasant is definitely something to at least think about. They showed off a couple of artifacts, so Return to Nature is also something to think about. Generally, though, I'm pretty happy with my game plan. Any cards that seem particularly bad. So, do I have any expensive 3 toughness creatures? No. 2 Unveil might get a little bit worse against the Cauldron. They have a couple 2/1s. They have a couple 1/1s. Yeah, I think this deck is just a fine configuration. And I'm going to see how it does. We didn't really see enough of their deck to make good sideboard choices. Sure, we could bring in some artifact hate, but that kind of dilutes our own game plan, and we don't really want to spend 2 mana to kill a Gingerbrute anyway. This is a good hand. We'll keep it. Sure. We do want to draw some lands, but we have 17 lands. We're reasonably likely. We're like 80% to hit our 3rd land. And then after that, we're decently likely to hit our 4th land. Okay, so they've gone artifact into artifact. We'll just pump it up. We have some very good cards here. We also have red cap to potentially keep us alive if they play a red creature that's a threat. Cauldron? Nice. Sick rip off the top. If they go for Cauldron, we can double barge in. Yeah, we can't go for a barge in. We'll just hit him for 1. Nice. And hold up red cap melee. So they didn't use their Cauldron. Oh my god, that was disgusting. That's definitely the play. And now we draw land. Okay, we did not draw land. Okay. Well, we'll just attack. Boulder Rush. Do I want to just pump this again? Probably not. Just get the 3/1 into play. Gives me a second threat. Man, and then if I ever draw land, I can get my Rampart Smashers rolling, which is nice. Man, this is actually a big level up for me, just not playing the Merrily Rider, like, even though I want 2-drops. I don't know, feels good. Well, that's a card. So I think we just play Rampart Smasher here. We'll attack with our Weaselback. Do we even want to attack with Weaselback? Yeah, I think we do. Because if they do block, we'll just trade our Weaselback for their 3/4 flyer. And as it is, we'll just play our big guy. It's better than attacking with both and having to commit both barge-ins to this, because this guy plus barge-in is just great. Whew. This is the benefit of our mana base, too. Like, we can function on very little lands as long as they're all mountains. Like, imagine a 9/8 mana base where half of our lands are forests, and then we're just like, well, I can pump this, but then I can't cast barge in, or things like that. Whew. Okay, dragon. Does not have a human or artifact to take. And I think they're dead to double bargain. Maybe. Just maybe. Okay. Let's go to combat again and see what we can work our magic. Okay, so we attack with everything. Because if they block here, which is fine for us, and block here to trade, we just get to leverage our combat tricks. They could have Righteousness, which would suck for us, but that would be their last card, and we can just refuel. Okay. No, they have it. Oh my god, that's so absurd. That's so dumb. The curses. So this goes up to a 10-10. This is going to be a 7-7. Okay, this is still fine. That's just sad, though. They go to 8. They have no cards in hand. They can kill this. Then we just drop another Rampart Smasher. Yep, they kill it. Sure. No! Flutter Fox, that's bull. That's so dumb. I can just play Rampart Smasher into Searing Barrage, though, and just win anyway. Dang. Like, they have to hold back both of the blockers. They have no cards in hand, so they have to have a sick rip off the top, like a Trapped in a Tower. And even then, I'm not dead. But they have to block this, and the Searing Barrage damage can get them. This is why Merrily Rider's not very good in my deck, because I could have draws like this, and I really want to have all my red sources. Man, that Righteousness destroyed me. Because, like, it's an attack that I make every time because they have one card. This is an uncommon, and also, like, they're going to block their 5-3 on my 5-5 regardless, but it still sucks. And maybe if like very maybe, if I had like 3 cards in hand and I had seen Righteousness game 1, then I maybe just wait, and I wait till I have Searing Barrage up to attack. Gosh, this is a bad sign. This is not what I like to see. Maybe they think they just have me because this is a lethal. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's go to combat. And witness as they block. Sack for life gain. I think this Two Unveil could actually be super important this game. That's such a dumb... Oh my gosh, it's so unlucky that they drew this Ginger Brute. Because I'm still dead in 2 turns. Because this goes to 11. And this only gives me +2 power. Okay. Now we do wait, because we want him to keep the thing equipped to this guy. What did you draw, you lucky son of a gun? Actually, that's not lethal. Ha. Actually, 2, 4, 6. Wow, I'm so sad. That's so dumb. This guy just needed to draw 1 land in this stretch of draws. That's so dumb. Okay. Well, he drew perfectly, and I drew mediums at the end there. So, not really unhappy with how that turned out. Fell the Pheasant comes in, now that we know more about their deck. And we'll take out a Barge in, I think. That seems good to me. That was just super unlucky, like, the way it played out. We would like to play first. We do need to hit lands, but I think we'll keep it. Wow, that was just really unfortunate. Like, they drew literal perfectly. Wait, were they at 3 life? Did I completely blow that? Were they just dead? Oh no! Holy heck, they were dead. Because they attacked with the Ginger Brute. Which means they can't sack it for life. Which means that they were at 3 because they didn't block. Oh no! Oh no! Oh man, they were dead. Wow, I blew it. Oh no. I think they attacked with Ginger Brute. I could have just killed their anything and they take 3 and they're dead. Land me. Heck yes. We're fine if they trade. Oh no. Were they were dead. And then we hope to draw 1 more land so we can get this Tree Folk down onto the Raging Redcap. Now I'm actually, like, super sad. Man, I wasn't even thinking about that. Because I was like, oh, I'm dead no matter what I kill. But the 3 damage to face, jeez, that was such a bad play. I was like, man, I have him dead. And then I was like, oh, they have Gingerbread, so I'm not going to have him dead. Well, we'll just trade. We're very fine trading damage in this curve out draw. Okay. Give me a land. Yep. Oaken Boon onto this guy. And then attack for a lot. 6, 8 damage. And then next turn this attacks for 10 by itself with trample. And we haven't seen a ton of ways to deal with it. Stone Coil Serpent for 2 mana makes me think that they have like other elements of a curve out draw. But this plus Bargain could be really problematic for them. Okay, they're attacking. That's good news. Gosh darn it. He's a monster. Man, we need to land there. Oh my gosh. I'm so sad we had the win. Well, we're in good shape this game, so not like that unhappy. We're going to try and make the game go longer now because we have this Tree Folk to play and also Escape the Wilds. So 1 land we can play this. Well, not the greatest. But Escape should be good when we draw it, stuff to play it eventually. Land, yes. We're just going to try and kill their threats as they play them. Because if we just start deploying our threats and then play Escape as our like final card. Also playing it when we haven't made a land drop means we can play 2 lands in that turn, which is quite nice. There's a Flutter Fox now. Okay, perfect timing. Now we can play this. And if we hit 2 lands, we can play Crashing Drawbridge. Okay, so we can play Mountain. We can play Mountain. And then we can play Crashing Drawbridge. Wow, what a sick play. And then next turn, we don't really want to play the Tree Folk yet. Next turn we can go land, Reality Smasher, Fell the Pheasant on your Flutterfox, and attack. Because unless they get rid of their own trap in a tower somehow. Like our Crashing Drawbridge is going to enable so much damage, and then the next turn we can play 2 Unveiled Tree Folk. Draw. Okay, we play our Mountain. Play Fell the Pheasant. So we can play Rampart Smasher. So they have this up, so they can give this +7/+7. So that'll be an 8/10, and then we can give this +2/+2, and this +2/+2. Huh. Oh my gosh. Now it actually looks like they kind of have it. So we're playing Rampart Smasher. The question is, do we also just play Rimrock Knight? I think we play Rimrock Knight and attack. Because we don't really care about Righteousness. And Bargain is going to be good whenever. And if they do have it, they have it. But if they don't have it, then we just win. I think they have it, though, which is fine, because then we can play 2 Unveiled Tree Folk plus Bargain next turn. And they'll both have haste. But this thing can't... Oh, right. This thing can't be blocked by walls. Yes! Oh, I didn't outplay myself. Thank God. Oh, I had lethal. Never mind. I did outplay myself. Shoot. Feels bad, man. I had lethal. I think I blew lethal 2 times this match. That's awkward. This guy can still be played. Don't worry, guys. Because that was my adventure. Oh my gosh, I blown it. I blew lethal twice. Oh man, but they could have had a Searing Barrage. So this is safer. Two lethal threats. Coming in hot. Opponent not scooping it up. What do they have? Boom! And we get the win! Despite the misplays, despite the close match where my opponent drew perfectly and I still choked the easy win. We are 1-0 with our deck, and I hope you stay with me for the next round. Hello, and welcome to round 2. We have an excellent hand here. Lovestruck Beast with a green source is pretty much always going to be a good hand. We even have a 2-drop to take care of a pesky creature on turn 2 if we want to. Ooh, a black deck might be a problem because they can Reave Soul our 1/1. We don't have that many 1/1s, we only have one other one. Hopefully it's not a problem. Blue-black. So if they Reave Soul my token here, I'm in trouble. But not that much trouble. We'll attack. We can probably take care of most 3-drops they play with this 3 damage. That's part of why it's so good. Okay. Do your worst, mate. Oh no, never mind. They get to kill my Lovestruck Beast too. That's disgusting. Ouch. Oh no. That's the best memory theft I've seen. Rats. The classic of, I wish I was on the play. Haha, get wrecked. We drew a replacement. And now if we draw a land, we can 2 Unveil Tree Folk onto our guy. We'll probably play Rampart Smasher first, though. We don't want them to bake into a pyre guy in response. I do think they probably have a bake into a pie, though. But we got to get it out of their hand so we can make this guy a real threat. Yep. We also have 3 damage, direct damage that they know about. Our deck has a decent amount of burn and good ways to push through blockers. It does struggle sometimes with specific draws against hands like this, where they just draw a couple of non-creatures. Okay. Pretty clear discard there. Okay. Weaselback Redcap is going to be pretty good here. I hope they don't have a kill spell for my guy. Okay, they play a 0-4. Sure. Another good draw from us. They can block this one guy all day long. But this guy cannot be blocked by the drawbridge. What would be a really good draw is the card that gives +2/+2 and trample. Our deck is very well set up here. They go up to 10 life. We have a lot of big threats. That's partly how I built my deck, was because the control decks of the format do certain things to help stall the game, and our deck can help avoid those. Okie doke. Even if they find a kill spell for this guy, like a Reeve Soul, that is one of the downsides of this specific situation, is Reeve Soul kind of wrecks it. The Rampart Giant can win us the game. Okay, so we know about Memory Theft, Bake into a Pie, and Drawbridge. And Reaper, of course. Reaper is something to play around, if we can. So what will be good against blue-black in general, and what will be good against these cards? So let's consider those 2 cards. Definitely not Tall as a Beanstalk. Garen Brig is not something we want. Rosethorn Acolyte's interesting. We definitely don't want Kenriths. Fell the Pheasant can sometimes be good against them. I don't think Rosethorn's good, because when they're removing all your creatures, Rosethorn is really bad. Blow Your House Down can kill the Drawbridge, so it's worth thinking about. We don't want Thrill because we want to be affecting the board. Claim is not good. We don't really want Profit because we already have threats kind of covered. I don't think we want to bring in Fell the Pheasant until we know what they have as in their flyers. Redcap Melee is a little bit disappointing against them because they are not red and they don't have all that many creatures to kill. So I think we might cut this one if we find something better to bring in. The Rimrock Knights are good. I generally want to up my threat density while lowering my other spell density, so I could see myself cutting Redcap Melee for a Blow Your House Down, though that's kind of more of a situational card. Or just a Ogre Errant. Menace can be quite good, so I think we're just going to make that change and run it back. I like having a lot more just creatures in this type of matchup, because you don't want to have that type of hand that we had where we had 2 removal spells and they just don't have creatures in play. This is a good hand. It does struggle against that discard spell again, but they can't have that every game, and even if they do have it, we still get the 1/1 out of it. If we were a heavier green deck and could reliably get 2 green mana, I would consider just holding it until like turn 4, but even then they'll just snag it with their discard spell, so this is probably ideal. And here we're going to play 7 dwarves, so that if they do play a drawbridge, we can use the Rimrock Knight, or we can use Rimrock Knight with Redcap. We do need to draw land here, but yeah, Rimrock Knight has too many combos with Redcap and stuff like that. So they could go for the same play pattern here. Yes, they have it. Of course they have it, because why wouldn't they have it? They're probably going to take Rimrock Knight. But if they do take Rimrock Knight, our red cap at least gets to do some work. I'm a little bit disappointed that they had it, though. Still, they're not affecting the board. We do still get this one, get one. So it's not the end of the world. I just hope to draw a land. They take the Rimrock Knight, which makes sense. Land me. Let's go. That is good. I like that draw. And then if they play the Harvest guy, we're going to get rid of these two. Because we can cast a lot of the cards we draw, but if we do draw a land, we want to be able to get this guy down. He has Strength and Courage, just way, way too much of both. That's really funny. I never read that flavor text. So they could have bake into a pie. So this represents an extra 1, 2, 4 damage. Oh, they're just baking into a pie now. Oh, they're turning into a pumpkin. Okay. Interesting. I would think that they'd wait, because I was considering just activating this because they were holding up counter magic / bake into a pie. I still think I was going to go for the play this guy. But this land is going to be really good, because even if they do bake into a pie this guy, it just makes all my other creatures much scarier. Okay, Charmed Sleep, sure. Knowing that they have that, I'm probably going to bring in one of the cards that deals with that type of effect. We're going to play our red cap and hold this land in case they have Harvest Fear, because we don't want to have to discard our 2 spells, and all of our curve does top at 5. And yeah, pretty much those reasons. And also, if we do draw another land, we'd like to play a mountain so we can go barge in plus castle and breath activation. But if they Harvest Fear me here, I'm in great shape because I hit them for 3, for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They go to 1. And if I draw a mountain, they're just dead. Or if they Harvest Fear me, they're just dead to this plus barge in because this is 3, 6. Oh no, and they go to 1. Okay, they're opting. But yeah, holding this for us is incredibly important right here because we know they have Harvest Fear and we don't want to get ourselves wrecked for no reason. So our opponent has not played like a single creature. They played the 1 wall. Having the 7 dwarves was a really key part of this game too. Okay, the drawbridge. Mountain? Yes, perfect. So that's game. Because this thing can get +3 and I think that's game at least. So they block here. Let's just do the math. So this is 2, 3. We're activating this for sure. 4, 5. This thing's going to have trample. And so this is going to be 3. 4 powerhouses, 8. They block 4 of it. And then they take an extra. So they go to 1. Alternately, we can go... Yeah, I think that's just the best play. So this kills this now. They go to 5 at this spot. I think putting them to 1 is good when they're tapped out and can't blow out my trick. I don't think they can get out of it. I have 3 lethal threats. Even if they do deal with all my stuff, I can just draw a Searing Barrage or my deal 4 at any point in the game, and they're just dead pretty much. Even if they gain some life off of food, and that is going to do it for that match. We kind of crushed them. They didn't really play many creatures, and our deck thrives in that situation. So that's going to do it, and I hope you stay with me for the finals. Hello, and welcome to the finals. We won the die roll, which is nice. And we have a solid hand. We will definitely keep this one. It is mono red, but we don't have any green cards, so not a huge deal. And Barge In does work well with the Raging Red cap. We also have good 3-drop into good 4-drop, plus a combat trick. Okie doke. Is it another blue-black deck? No, it is a blue-red deck. Cauldron, okay. We will play into the Cauldron. We have a pretty threat-dense hand. If they play land, kill our guy, we are fine with that. Okie doke. I think they might have a counterspell here. And because of that, I'm just going to play my 2 smaller threats. It gets in for roughly equivalent damage. Yep, they're just... Okay, they do have a counterspell. So that works out for me. I'm glad we didn't play into it. Oh dear. Well, that could be annoying. Land? Nope, no land. Let's just play this guy. Actually, let's attack with this guy first. We're probably fine trading these off. This is a little awkward now. That's a fine trade for us, but we would have probably preferred to get our Smasher into play. I didn't know how they would block, though. So they can just activate this whenever they want now. Okay. That's kind of irritating. They'll find a lot more gas now. Folio gone. Okay. That's interesting. Maybe that means they have a second one? Okay, turn into a pumpkin. Sure. Okay, we're just going to start jamming 5/5s. Hopefully we draw a land next turn so we can go Smasher plus Barge In. Well, that's brutal. They are low on resources, though. They do not loot. Okay. Our game plan is pretty set here. We're just going to play Rampart Smashers over and over until we win. And they did keep the card in their hand that they had. So maybe it's another Moonlit. So they're going to combine that with Scalding Cauldron. Okay, sure. That's actually a really relief because it means they can't use the Scalding Cauldron in the future. Sure, we'll take the hit, and then hopefully draw land here. No land, but when we do draw lands, our stuff is going to be great. And now they don't have that on-board trick, so we can actually block their creatures. And they can't cast spells on my turn. That was a good draw. So this is going to attack. You can cast spells only during your turn. So if I attack, they have 6 power. Rimrock cast. I like just getting it into play. The fact that I can't cast spells on my turn is so good for me. Red cap melee doesn't do a ton here. So I can attack with... I think if I attack with this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and this guy, how do they block? So they block here, and they block here, and then they take 8, 10. So then I would use this thing and this thing. So let's just say they block here and here. And they're committing themselves to taking 8. I can just kill them. Yeah, I think those are their only good blocks too. Yup. Oh. 5, 6, 7. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. Play the non-foil. 10, 11. Okie doke. Well, this card did not pay off for them that game. It just made it very easy for me to choose what to do. My red cap melee is definitely staying in, though. I will be bringing in a card that can deal with that and also deal with Folio of Fancies. Those cards can be issues, so we will be bringing in Return to Nature. Probably 1 copy. They have some bigger creatures. I don't want Fell the Pheasant. I don't want this guy. Okay, we'll probably only bring in a Return to Nature. Probably only 1 copy. And we know they have a bounce spell, so 2 Unveil Treefolk gets inherently worse against those. So does Barge in. I like all my cards pretty much. So what do we want to cut for a Return to Nature? Because we definitely want to bring one in to help us deal with Folio. They have a lot of 5 toughness guys. I think we can cut a Raging Redcap. And run it like this. Okay, this is an easy mulligan, unfortunately, but definitely a clear mulligan. And this is a much better hand. We will keep it and probably just ditch the Slaying Fire. Because Slaying Fire doesn't kill the threats we care about, and we already kind of have a plan for the early turns. Regret immediately. Now that I have 2 Searing Barrage. I mean, Searing Barrage does kill a lot of the stuff I care about, which is good. I just want to draw lands here. Okay, we don't need to land. In this turn, I'd really like to draw land just so there's no pressure on me to keep things going. They could easily have a counter, but we're happier baiting out a counter now than next turn, so we'll just do it. Mystical. Sure. I will not pay 3. I'm fine with that because it means my Rampart Smasher can come down, and they really struggle with that, I think. I can't imagine they play many counters, just because they have the Fires of Invention. Turn into Pumpkin, sure. It's just such a non-bow that I can't even imagine them playing that many. Sage. Okay, Griffin is a complete disaster for them. We'll get this guy into play. Searing Barrage is so good. Like, just imagine, deal 5 to their creature, deal 3 to them. Sure. Okay, so they'll hit us for 4. Wow, they get rid of So Tiny. What do they have? Okay, that's a fine-ish draw. We would have really wanted to play 2 Unveil Treefolk here. Just as a 6/5. Let's just kill that. because it's going to be the thing that triggers that a lot of the time. Yikes. Now I really want to draw land. Come on, land. Not quite. Even though it's more mana efficient to play these two, this guy's just such a house. Like, I would happily pay 5 mana for this guy right now. Okay, they're going to 2-for-1 themselves to get rid of him. That's fine. Sure. So I do take a decent chunk of damage here. Drawbridge. Huh. I kind of just want to kill this thing. Drawbridge and red cap is really a lot of damage, though. This is hard. So let's just say I Searing Fire this guy. Next turn I could take 4 anyway. I think this is the play. And then we can go to... Do we even want to just chump? Like, I think we just chump here. So maybe we should have played 7 dwarves because it's better at chumping. Sure, Wolverine's not a problem. There's a land that we needed. So we have 6 mana. So we can 2-unveil this up to a 2/6. And play 7 dwarves. Actually, we're just going to Scorching Dragonfire that. So if they have an interaction spell, we die. But we have a blocker for this. We can kill this. And then we can just win with 2-unveil. Ooh, red cap melee. That's really good for me right now. Okay. I'm going to sacrifice this one. It's a little unfortunate that I have to sack the land because now I can't play Tree Folk, but now another land is a good draw. Okay, they don't have any other artifacts in their graveyard right now. And they did not... Oh, they milled Folio, so that's not a big deal for me. Sure, they gain 3 life. 2-unveil is still a 2-turn clock. Perfect. Definitely attacking here. There's not many things that can just deal 3 to me. I mean, there are several, but we're not going to play around those. We want to make them chump with this as soon as possible. We kept this mountain around so we can go dwarves, activate, and also use our castle. Sure, they play Folio if they want. I'm okay with this. They're dead on board right now. Fae of Wishes, okay. Rimrock Knight, eh? So, I think I can play these two, put them to 1, because they have to chump here. Can I actually kill them this turn? So I can't get through extra damage with this, because this doesn't give trample. If I play Rimrock and activate my castle, that puts them down to 2. No. We just have to play things straight up. If I play 7 dwarves and Rimrock... Oh, I can kill them. I'm glad I did that extra math. Boulder Rush onto this guy. Then cast Rimrock. Yeah, I'm glad I took that extra second to think it through, because getting a trophy is always fun and you don't want to ruin it. They have to draw 1. Okay. Hopefully they didn't draw something really good. And that is going to do it for that draft. I felt super happy with how that went. I feel like I applied a lot of the knowledge I've gained about this format in the drafting and also in the matches to play them out in a way that kind of made it relatively straightforward to win. That is going to do it for the video. If you did make it all the way till the end, be sure to, in the comment section down below, leave a hashtag smash your way to victory in the comment section to let me know you made it all the way till the end of the video. If you do want to help me out, you can do so by remembering to click that thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel to join our community here on YouTube. Click that bell so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to support the channel directly, you can do so via the Patreon. Patreon.com/NicolaiBolas is the place to go if you want to help me continue making the videos that I make. If you want to say thank you, that's a great way to do so as well. And you do get some pretty cool rewards as well if you are a patron at any level. So for just $1 a month, you get access to my full card tier list guide. So I have every card sorted by color, graded on an A through F scale, and also sideboard is a grade there as well. So if you want to see all my thoughts on the Throne of Eldraine cards and also bonus content every week, be sure to check out the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. One of those rewards is being put in the credits at the end of the video if you give $10 or more per month. So thank you so much to all of the patrons that support at that level. I really do appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of my patrons, though. Thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you so much for watching this video, though. I really do appreciate it. That is going to do it, and I will talk to you next time.